Consider this situation. You're interested in butter production for the entire European Union. You go to Eurostat, you look at cow's milk collection and products obtained, monthly data, and you find the information there for many, many states. Going down to 2018, there is indeed information there for almost all states, certainly all butter producers of any relevance in the European Union, but European Union itself is not reported. Why? Well, in this case in particular, it will be because Luxembourg does not report butter production at all to Eurostat. So you're given a task to prepare a time series on butter production for European Union using UDMDirect. So here is what the final deliverable will look like. This is the variable of interest, butter. So we want a simple time series that will have the estimate for EU production of butter and these other fatty products, fatty dairy products. So how do we do that? We will start from scratch. Type in Eurostat, choose panel latest, choose edit. We will sort descending just to help us see all the areas. We can later remove the sort rows, but for now it will be very helpful. We will choose the name to be only butter and exclude everything else. We will choose the area, first load more to make sure you see all the areas. And then choose only those countries that are indeed members of the European Union. So Austria, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, Czech Republic, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Greece, Germany, Greece, Hungary, Ireland, Italy, Latvia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, Poland, Portugal, Romania, Slovakia, Slovenia, Spain, Sweden, and United Kingdom. Now we have all 20, we would have had all 28 states if all of them reported, but because Luxembourg does not, we will have 27 states reporting for every month for which reporting is completed. I'm recording this on November 12th, 2018, and the data is not yet completed for September. You can see that only about 13 countries have so far reported data for butter for September, but August will have many more states reported. Okay, what do we do next? What we will do is we will go to Home, Group by, Advanced. We will group by report period. And because we want the name column to remain presented after the grouping, we will include it here as well. We don't really need to. We know that all that's left at this point is just butter and similar products. But because we want that column to remain in the presented view, we will include it here. We'll do a sum of the value column, and we'll just continue to call it value. And just for kicks, we'll also do count rows, and we'll put that count. Okay, let's click OK. It takes a bit. So let's rearrange, beautify a little bit. And let's remove the steps that are no longer necessary. Sort rows is no longer necessary. Okay, let's sort it descending to make it easier for us to see what's going on. And here we have it now. Butter and similar products by month, aggregated across all reporting states. And you could see here in the count column how many states have reported production for a particular month. 27 states have been reporting since 2014. At that point, one less state reported, so 26 from, let's see when. From January 2007, it was 26. Before that, it was 25. That is important to know because otherwise we may interpret year-on-year measure, year-on-year growth as indicative of increase in butter production, whereas in fact it was increase in reporting coverage. So it's important to know how many states have reported. This number 13 here is important because we want to understand whether the month is completed or not. And we are ready to load. And we are done. The second step will include creating a table that has all the individual states for European Union as well as other candidate states or other European states that are not members of the European Union. And we want to have in that same list, we want to have our estimate for European Union as a whole. So in order to do that, we first need to modify the table we just created. I will make a copy rather than tinker with it. So create a copy, move to end. You can see that the new query is created. Let's rename it. EU butter for append, and the name will become obvious very shortly. And then the column, the table here, rename as well. Now we'll start a new query. Again, Eurostat, panel latest, edit, choose butter only, sort ascending, choose area. Now we're going to choose all of the states except, well, let's load all of the states except the aggregate areas. So EU 15, 27, 28, EFTA, European Economic Area, we don't want those. We want all of the other states. Okay. We will remove the publication date. And we will beautify the report period. All good. Okay. Now let's call this EU butter or Europe butter states. And what we'll do now is we'll basically merge, or I expressed myself wrong. What we'll do now, we will append the EU butter for append to the EU butter states. In order to do that, we have to have all of the fields be the same. In the butter states, we have units, report period. Here we do not have units, so we will modify this query to add the column units, and we will drop the count. We will not need the count for this exercise. So we'll go to edit, under grouped, rows, step. The way to keep the units column is to add grouping by units. Now, there are no different units here, but so the only effect of including units in the add grouping in the group by will be to preserve that column in the final output. We don't need the count, so I'm going to delete it here. Ready? We may need to repeat these two steps. Okay, so we'll put the report period here. We'll transform it to date only. Let's make it descending. And we're not done yet. Here we also need to add area column. So add column, custom column. We'll call it area, because that is the name of this column in the other table. And we'll call it a European Union estimate. Actually, the word aggregate is better because we have not done any estimation of how big the missing data is. We just aggregated. And let's put that here. Okay, now we are ready to append the queries. Let this one load. Go here, edit. Go to append queries, table to append, EU butter for append. Click OK. Let's sort it descending one more time. Okay, and here's what you have now. You have the individual states, but you also have EU as aggregate in that same table. So now you can take this to Tableau and or out of the BI software, and you can choose whether to display the aggregate or the individual state, etc. Just be careful when you're presenting aggregate. Remember, that's the aggregate of states that have reported their production to date. That is not an estimate of the entire European Union, including the missing data. This is just the sum of those states that have reported production to date. We have, in this example, done this just for butter and other fats and oils derived from milk and spreads. But you could do the same exact procedure across all of the products by simply not selecting on butter and including the name in the grouping category and then appending later, and then you would have EU production of each of the product categories by month. We are done here, and we are going to call this now EU butter. Well, we can just EU butter states and EU butter states in EU. Close and load. We can call this table simply a European butter production. And we don't need this table anymore. We should not remove the query because query is needed for appending to the other query. But perhaps we don't care to have a sheet with the data in Excel, so we can delete the tab. And what you see here will happen is that instead of saying that so many rows were loaded, now it only says that it's a connection only query. Okay, so you have one table with just the aggregates and counts of states reporting in a particular month, and then another table where we have European Union aggregate in addition to all of the states reporting to Eurostat.